The Sahaba sat with the Prophet, peace be upon him, and watched him eat. They watched what he kept on his table. They wrote it down for us. In this video, 15 Sunnah foods that bring the deepest barakah into your home. And at number 1, the food the Sahaba saw the Prophet, peace be upon him, eat from the heart of the most blessed tree Allah named in His book. Bismillah, let us begin. A quick word before we begin. We have gathered the daily practices of the Beloved, peace be upon him, how his household ate, drank, slept, and healed, into one book, the Sunnah Home Manual. 40 practices, every hadith verified, every source shown. To get your copy, visit sunnahgardens.com. Or pause this video right now, open the camera on your phone, point it at the code on your screen, and tap the link that appears. You will also find the link in the description right below this video. I will not mention it again. If you want it, it is there. Now, let's begin. We begin with the simplest gift from Allah's earth, salt. Across the Sahaba era, the table was opened with Bismillah and a pinch of salt. It was the universal gesture of Barakah at every meal. The World Health Organization's global research shows that both excess and absence of dietary sodium correlate with cardiovascular risk. A small amount of clean salt at meals supports the electrolyte balance your body depends on. A pinch of unprocessed rock salt or sea salt at the start of every meal, the way it has always been done. Bee pollen, what the Arabic tradition calls Haba Anna 7L. Allah honored the bee in Surah An-Nahl, calling its honey a source of healing for mankind. The classical Tibb scholars extended this honor to all the bee's gifts. While the Hadith specifically names honey, the Tibb tradition recognized pollen as one of the bee's most nutritious offerings. A 2019 review in the journal Antioxidants confirmed that bee pollen contains all essential amino acids alongside B vitamins, flavonoids, and trace minerals. A small spoonful stirred into warm honey or yogurt, taken daily. Tariya, the fresh, non-fermented sap of the date palm. I want to be clear with you right at the start. Once palm sap ferments, it becomes nabid and is no longer permitted. We are speaking only of the fresh sap harvested at sunrise and drunk within hours. The Sahaba received it from the blessed tree across the Arabian Peninsula. A 2017 study in the Journal of Functional Foods documented its remarkable profile of natural electrolytes, B vitamins, and rapidly bioavailable simple sugars. A small, fresh glass at the morning meal. Laban al-Makhdud, the cultured buttermilk our grandmothers churned in clay vessels. Sahih Bukhari narrates the Prophet, peace be upon him, drinking Laban among his companions. This is distinct from the yogurt we use today. It is the lighter fermented dairy drawn after the butter has been pulled out. A 2014 paper in the Journal of Dairy Science showed that the unique milk-fat globule membrane in buttermilk supports the gut barrier and reduces inflammation. A small cup with the evening meal, cold from the clay. Fresh goat curd, jubn al-ma'iz, the soft cheese pressed at home from goat milk and lemon. This is the everyday cheese the Sahaba knew, distinct from the aged hard cheeses. The Tibb tradition prized it for its lightness on the body. Modern dairy science recognizes goat dairy's A2 beta-casein protein and medium-chain triglycerides as significantly easier to digest than cow dairy, particularly relevant for older adults with mild lactose sensitivity. A spoonful on warm bread, drizzled with honey or olive oil. Halal duck, butter. The Sahaba consumed many halal birds beyond chicken, and where waterfowl were available, duck was eaten. The general permissibility hadith in Sahih Bukhari covers waterfowl without the talons of a bird of prey. A 2018 paper in Poultry Science noted that duck meat carries higher selenium and a more favorable omega-3 to omega-6 ratio compared to chicken. A roasted halal duck served over saffron rice or slow cooked with onions, the way it was prepared in the Anatolian kitchens of the early Muslim world. Halal pigeon. Hammam. Every Egyptian Muslim, every Levantine grandmother knows hammam mahshi, the stuffed pigeon dish that has been on Muslim tables since the Sahaba settled in Egypt after the conquests. The Tibb tradition prescribed pigeon meat specifically for rebuilding strength after illness, and modern nutritional analysis confirms it carries one of the highest natural iron and B vitamin profiles of any poultry. A simple roasted halal pigeon, stuffed with rice and herbs, served for the Friday gathering. Halal chicken, dajjaj. Sahih Bukhari narrates the Prophet, peace be upon him, eating chicken at the table among his companions. This is Hadith 5517, narrated by Abu Musa al-Ash'ari. Modern Mediterranean diet research, including the long-running Predim trial, places poultry as a longevity-supporting protein staple across populations. A halal slaughtered roasted chicken with garlic, olive oil, and fresh herbs, served for the family at the end of the week. Halal beef. Lam al-Bakar. While lamb dominated the Hijaz kitchens, beef was the hospitality meat for major gatherings. Eid sacrifices for cattle, wedding feasts, returning traveler meals. A 2019 paper in the journal Nutrients found that adequate animal protein intake in adults over 60 correlated meaningfully with reduced sarcopenia, the wasting of muscle mass that quietly accelerates in older age. Halal grass-fed beef, grilled simply with rosemary and salt, served for the gathered family. Cooked tongue. Lisayan. The Sahaba ate every halal part of the slaughtered animal, and tongue was an honored hospitality dish. Many of our grandparents served it weekly. The modern Muslim diaspora has moved away from organ meats, and I understand why. But the nutrient density returns the favor. A single serving of beef or lamb tongue provides more than the entire daily requirement of vitamin B12, alongside generous zinc and iron, slow braised with garlic and olive oil, sliced thin onto warm bread. Rose water, ma al-ward. This is the distilled water of fresh rose petals, distinct from the pure essential oil. For more than 1,000 years, it has welcomed guests, blessed weddings, and lifted the spirit of the gathering. Ibn al-Bayṭār placed rose water in the category of the mafari al-qalb, the gladdeners of the heart. A 2017 review in Pharmacognosy documented its measurable anxiolytic effect, even simply inhaled, a small drop in a cup of warm milk or sprinkled in the home before guests arrive. Camel hump fat, sanam. The camel was the foundational livestock of Sahaba-era Arabia, and the soft-rendered fat from its hump was the primary cooking medium across many Bedouin households. I want to be open about the modern context. Older nutritional science condemned all saturated fats, but the latest meta-analyses, including the 2020 BMJ review, have softened that position significantly. A 2020 paper in the Journal of Animal Science showed camel hump fat carries a notably favorable monounsaturated to saturated ratio compared to beef tallow. If you have cardiovascular concerns, please speak with your physician. Halal cow liver, kabd al-Bakar. Sunan ibn Majah in Hadith 3314 narrates that the Prophet, peace be upon him, said 2 kinds of blood have been made lawful for us, the liver and the spleen. Cow liver in particular is the single densest natural source of vitamin A in the retinol form, alongside copper, vitamin B12, and choline. A single 3-ounce serving exceeds the daily requirement for vitamin A and B12, extraordinary for an older adult vulnerable to B12 deficiency. A small portion pan-grilled with caramelized onions. Sheep tail fat. Liya. Across the Hijaz, Yemen, and the Levant, the soft fat rendered from the sheep's tail was the most common cooking fat in the Prophet's lifetime and for centuries after. The Tibb tradition placed it among the warming, strengthening fats of the kitchen. The same 2020 BMJ meta-analysis I mentioned a moment ago has softened the older blanket warnings on animal fats. Liya also carries the heart-supporting compound, CLA, and beneficial short-chain fatty acids. As with Sunnah, please consult your physician if you carry cardiovascular concerns. And now at number 1, the food the Prophet, peace be upon him, ate from the heart of the most blessed tree Allah named in His book. Sahih Bukhari in Hadith 5448 narrates the Prophet, peace be upon him, sitting and eating Jummar, the soft white pith from the heart of the date palm. The Sahaba watched and they recorded. This is the same tree the Prophet, peace be upon him, called the symbol of the believer himself in Sahih Bukhari Hadith 61. The date palm is the most Barakah coded plant in the entire Sunnah. Ibn Sina and al-Qayyim both catalogued Jummar as a cooling, mineral-rich food that softens the body and gladdens the heart. A 2018 study in the Journal of Ethnopharmacology documented its cardioprotective and gut restorative properties, driven by an exceptional concentration of potassium, magnesium, and the rare compound dipinitol, associated with improved insulin sensitivity. Tibb tradition, Sahih Hadith, modern science, all three pointing to the heart of the same blessed tree. That was our countdown of the 15 Sunnah foods that bring Barakah into your home. May Allah grant you and your family complete shifa. If this list reminded you of something your grandmother used to make, share it in the comments. And in our next video, we will be opening the forgotten Sunnah vegetables your great-grandmother grew in her garden. Bismillah. Until then.